Hey guys, welcome to Into Fly Fishing. My name is Pierre Hubert. Today we're going to look at how to tie the popular Chernobyl ant. It's a terrestrial fly. It floats very well on top of the water. The materials that you'll need for the fly is a long shank hook. This is a size 8, Mouche 8443. You'll see that it's a very long shank hook. There's the eye, there's the bend. Any long shank hook will be fine. For the thread, I'm using a fairly thick thread. This is Danville 210 denier. The reason why I'm using such a thick thread is that I don't want a thread that cuts into the foam as we tie along. So this is a tan color and it's chosen to suit the underbody of the fly. Also a section of red ultra-chenille, a section of tan close-cell foam. This is foam that I bought from a hobby shop in a big sheet and I just cut it to size. That'll be the underbody, and for the overbody the same foam, just in black. For the legs I'm using silicone legs. This is brown with some barred orange markings on it. For the sighters, if you're blind like I am, some fluorescent pink Antron yarn, and to seal the thread off at the bottom I'm using Silly Hansen's hard as nails. The tools that you'll need is obviously a vise. A rotary vise really makes life much easier, especially on this fly, especially to see if you're creating perfect segmentation on the body during the fly. A bobbin holder, a pair of scissors. This is a long pair of scissors with a long cutting blade and a short pair of scissors, and then a whip finishing tool. That's all the tools and materials you'll need. So without further ado, let's get started. First step, as always, is, or as in most cases rather, is to place a hook in the vise, like so. Make sure that the shank is level and that the hook point and the barb area is exposed. First, we're going to attach the thread, lock it in place, and cut off the excess. Now we're going to take a section of this red chenille. I'm going to wrap the thread forward, leaving a very small gap to form the head at the end of the fly. Going to place the chenille over this area and tie it in right on top of the hook shank. Now I'm going to run back, but I'm not going to make touching turns. I'm just securing the chenille all the way on top of the thread, of the hook shank, with the thread going backwards, leaving exposed some of the chenille between the thread wraps. When you reach the bend of the hook, you wrap it securely and cut off, leaving about 1/4 of an inch, like that. The purpose of the chenille is to give the foam something to bind onto. If you're not using the chenille, the foam, especially on smaller flies, tend to spin around. So this makes it much more secure and it helps prevent headaches. Then I leave a little section at the back just as a little hotspot that you can see right here under the body. The next step is to take you can first cut the foam. I just want to show you the size that you need to cut it. So you use the hook gape as a measuring. So I just want to cut one here and show you. It's fine. I cut the foam slightly too thick, but that should be fine. The foam, the same size as the hook gape. So the smaller the hook is, the smaller the gape will be, so the smaller section of foam you'll need. Run the thread all the way forward again, once again leaving exposed the chenille, and place the foam right on top of the hook shank, like so. Then pinch it in place. As I pinch it, it folds around the hook shank and tie it in, leaving some foam exposed over the hook. 1 rep, 2 rep, 3 reps. That should be fine. You can make another one. Now turn the fly around just to see that it's tied in at the right spot. Now we need to form the segmentation. So we're going to fold the body or the foam around the hook shank like so, and we are going to cross diagonal over the foam and form a segment right there. So what I want you to see is that I crossed diagonally on top of the hook shank. That's very important, because if you do that on the side, the thread is exposed and it just doesn't look natural. So once again, you go over the hook shank diagonally till it bites, then come around and form a segment with 2 reps. 2 reps is all you need. Over, form a segment. Over, form a segment, like so. And you do this all the way back. You should get around 4 or 5 segments. On very large flies, obviously you'll get up to 6, but that depends on the size of your segments, of the segments you're creating. Like so. Now, you cut off the foam. We'll measure it later when we finish the fly off. Just cut it off and take your rubber legs and remove one from the packet or holder. Now what you do is you fold it in half like so. You hold the loop with this end and you place them right on top of the hook shank with a midpoint between the end and the loop at the tying point, like so. And you tie in the rubber legs right on top of the hook shank. Now you can just position them, pull them slightly to the side of the shank, pull everything straight, like so, and that's the look that you want. Right, so cut a similar sized piece of black foam. Once again, the same size as the hook gape, and place it through the loop, the leg loop, to be level with the piece of foam that you cut. Hold it in place and secure with 2 thread wraps. Pull it straight and really pull on the thread now, like so. Cut off a section of Antron yarn, like so, and place it under the thread and bring it all the way on top, like so. Now you can pull down and make 2 wraps to secure it. Pull down quite tight, and there you are. This section is almost done. All we need to do is pull this Antron tight, and with one cut it off. That's one of the sighters done. Now pull all the material back and bring the thread forward once again, doing the diagonal right on top of the hook to hide it from the bottom. Until you reach front segment right there. So you're left with that quite a neat body at the bottom. So you remove another section or a piece of rubber legs, and the same way you did in front, you fold it in half and place the halfway point on top of the hook shank, like so, and tie it in. Pull the legs to the side, like so, and bring the foam and push it through this loop you created, like so. Now hold everything in place, pinch it tight, and make 2 wraps. Make sure that you wrapped the thread in the correct place, and do 2 more wraps. Pulling quite tight. That's fine. For another sighter, we're going to use the same color of Antron yarn. You can actually vary the color as well. You can put one side chartreuse, one side white, or purple, or pink, whatever you want to do. Secure that with 3 wraps, like so. Pull that tight, and cut it off. There's another sighter. Now I'm lifting all the material, taking the thread forward. I'm creating a head for the fly. Take your whip finishing tool and not like that, don't let it slip off. And do a whip finish in there. I'm just going to do a 3-turn one because I'm going to seal that. Right, cut off the thread. Now the tying is done. Pulling this down, and then these loops that you formed, cut that off to open that up. Pull this one over, cut that in half. You can already see where we're going with this. So the first job is to cut the foam. Cutting the front level, and I'm cutting the back level, so, and then I'm cutting diagonally to give the foam a slight taper. You can see like that, and at the back I'll do it slightly more of a taper, see, like that. And all you need to do now is just level all the legs to the length that you want. That'll obviously be determined by the size of the fly you have and the reaction that it gets you from the fish. Like that. So all of the tying is done now. All that we need to do is take some head cement or UV resin or super glue even, and just put a drop here and there at the bottom of the fly to secure the thread, and seal everything in place, like so. So if you allow that to cure, the fly is ready to be fished with. What's great about this dry fly is that it mimics hoppers. You can tie it down to about a size 12. I wouldn't try going smaller than that, but you can. About a size 12. It's a great hopper imitation. It's a great fly to use in dry dropper or hopper and dropper rigs, as the fly never needs to be proofed. There's nothing that needs to be proofed. The fly just keeps on floating. So if you need a strike indicator in your rig, but you want to try and incorporate a hopper or terrestrial pattern, this is a great pattern to use. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this instructional video. Until we see each other again, cheers from Into Fly Fishing.